Trump's new announcement for Gaza shocks everyone. Why is that? Let's find out.
Do you plan to help in rebuilding Gaza?
I might. You know, Gaza is interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea, very interesting.
True.
But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and
Wa alaikum
sisters.
salam wa rahmatullahi
I hope
wa
you're
barakatuh.
well.
Alhamdulillah, I'm well.
Trump has resumed office and is currently dominating the news. Trump fans, including many American Muslims, are happy because they believe that Trump is the solution to all of the world's problems.
We will see,
and that as soon as he
inshallah.
enters office, all of the mayhem in the world will fall apart. However, a recent move and announcement by Trump have startled his followers and demonstrated that he is no different than the rest of American politicians. What action did he take? And how did a statement he issued constitute a concealed threat to the Palestinian people's existence? Let's take a look at this viral video of Trump revealing his hidden objectives and his thoughts on the ceasefire arrangement.
How confident are you, Mr. President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of the deal?
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2 states?
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's really got to be rebuilt in a different way.
Do you plan to help in rebuilding Gaza?
I might. You know, Gaza is interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea, best weather.
But you know, what do you expect? Like, one country that's backed by other countries, also militarily, by giving them tons of equipment and financing them this and that. Of course they have the weapons of mass destruction to like level like whole cities down and stuff, right? Like if you have that money and that support militarily, you can like level cities down like that. This is like the sad reality here, right? But I wonder, what does he mean by rebuild it in a different way? Rebuild it in a different way? In which different way?
You know, everything's good. It's like some beautiful things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
Trump can be seen in this video claiming that he has no confidence that the 3-phase ceasefire agreement will be successful, citing the fact that it is not his war but rather a war between Gaza and Israel. American politicians have a long-standing policy of prioritizing Israel over America. And it wasn't all. Trump went on to say that he believes something ought to be done in Gaza, which is currently a massive pile of wreckage. He also stated that because Gaza is near the sea, has beautiful beaches, and has excellent weather, there's something he might do with it. The fact that he praised Gaza's location and weather and how he might help rebuild it, and that something should be done about Gaza, is not a statement that completely states that he will rebuild it for the Gazans, specifically for whom he was saying that it is a beautiful place and that something should be done about it, which could also imply that he is referring to the Israelis. How do we make this claim? Because of the recent revocation of penalties imposed by former President Joe Biden against aggressive Israeli settlers in the West Bank. Yes, that is correct. One of the first things Trump did as soon as he entered office was to lift all penalties against Israeli settlers who habitually abuse Palestinians and compel them to leave their homes. When a new president takes office, the first thing he does is...
I think this is like one of the biggest injustice there with like the settlers, right? Like, imagine going to someone's home and just taking parts of the house. Like, let's say you own a house, right? And your house has about 6 rooms, right? And this house with 6 rooms, someone just storms into your door, breaks the door open, and occupies one of your 2 rooms, right? Technically, this house is yours, right? Because you've paid for it, you own it, right? But at the same time, there's a person in one of your rooms, so now you have not 6 but 5 rooms, let's say, and this room is being occupied by someone, and that person is like forcing their way in and to occupy your house, but this is actually your property, right? So I find this is like a huge injustice here, and I think this was a bad choice by Trump to revoke the sanctions here. He should not have done it.
To leave their homes. When a new president takes office, the first thing he does is change or implement policies that benefit his own country. But here we see Trump making a decision that not only has nothing to do with America, but also encourages Israeli settlers in the West Bank to cause as much havoc for Palestinians as possible.
It's like a sign you can stay or something.
When Trump won the election, Muslims expected him to be at least better than Joe Biden, and his reign will ensure that the Middle East is no longer in chaos.
You have to
In
see what
fact,
he
the
will do next.
15-month-old brutal assault in Gaza came to an end, and a 3-phase ceasefire was reached between Gaza and Israel, giving hope to Palestinians and pro-life activists that we would no longer be witnessing mass executions in front of our very eyes. However, the removal of penalties on aggressive Israeli settlements.
It's like he did two things, right? Like he did something good by pushing for the ceasefire. Like this is something good that Trump did here, right? But at the same time, he did something bad by removal of the penalties against the settlers, right? So this is the thing, right? Like I don't know why he did that, right? Like usually if you have like a view on a certain situation, you often like take one side or a certain stance on something, right? But why did this happen? Or was it that there was something behind the scenes that we did not see? For example, that Israel themselves said, okay, we're going to do the ceasefire deal, but we demand that the penalties, or let's say the sanctions on the Israeli settlements are being lifted. Like maybe there was such a situation, because we don't know what is happening behind the scenes, where at first it was only the ceasefire, but then Israel pushed for this, and they said, if we don't do this, we're not gonna do the ceasefire. Like this is something I'm like wondering right now, right? But one thing is good but bad at the same time, because it depends on how you understand it. But let's finish this. I have to add something, because there's something Trump said that's still stuck in my head, and I want to discuss this after the video with you quickly.
As well as his controversial comments about the fate of Gaza and the ceasefire have led us to believe that he is no different than the rest of American politicians whose hearts are in Israel rather than America. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and end the pain of the Palestinians.
Ameen. Okay, so let's get back to what Trump said earlier about like, Gaza, like Palestine is a beautiful place, it's at the sea, right? And something nice can be done with it, and it can be rebuilt in a different way. He said in a different way, right? Like what did he mean with this sentence? Like this can have multiple meanings, right? It can mean like the whole, like from architectural level, like the way the buildings are built, this and that, like it's gonna be reorganized, right? Like this building stands there, this and that. Like it can be just look-wise differently, but it can also be sort of meant like ethnically differently, or in a more like, I wouldn't say like Western puppet regime way, but in order to like the thing is this, right? Like, does the West help poor countries and rebuild stuff there? Yes. But does this often come with compromises or certain price or certain, hey, you have to obey us sort of situation, right? Like one fear I have a bit, and I hope this is not the case and I'm wrong with my guess, right? But what is if in this ceasefire a certain Western country says, okay, we're gonna help you rebuild, but you have to do exactly what we say. Like, we're gonna dictate now your future from now on, because we have the money, we have the finances, we do this and this and this there, but you're under our control. This is something I fear a bit. I hope I'm wrong with my feeling, but who knows? But yeah, may Allah protect the people in Palestine and free them and have them have a normal life again. I mean, but yeah, we will see. Like, the thing about Trump is he did something good here, right? Because of the ceasefire, he pushed for it. I did some research, and he was really behind this as well, right? Like, he was actually having conversations with Israel. So we can't deny that he wasn't involved in the ceasefire deal, because there's evidence for it. But this with the settlements, like I said, if you have a house, 6 rooms, someone just gets into your house without your permission, occupies 1 or 2 rooms, and maybe they leave the trash everywhere in your house, even they bring trash with them or something, right? This is like not fair. This is like you're forcing yourself into someone's home and you're staying there, and you're like even trying to dictate or change something even in the house. Like, this is not good. That's a big injustice, and that the sanctions were lifted, I disagree with that here. But we don't know if this was maybe a sort of like a push by Israel by saying we only do the ceasefire deal if you agree to this term, right? Because this is the thing about politics, right? Like, sometimes you maybe want to do something good for people, right? And they let you do this good thing, but the deal comes with one bad side to it. And if you don't sign this agreement, then you don't get the good out of it, even though the good out of it comes with something bad. Because what if Israel said, this is our ultimatum, right? We only do the ceasefire deal if you lift the sanctions on the settlers, right? This is something we don't know. We have to do a bit of more research here, right? But I don't know. Trump has like does he have like a double stance in a way? Like, it seems so, but we have to see. We have to see what happens in the future. But we shouldn't trust, like, this is also something at the beginning, right? And a lot of people are very optimistic and stuff. But you should never, especially as a Muslim, you should never trust fully someone that's not on the Quran and Sunnah and is not part of your faith, like 100%, right? Like, even our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam want us to not take as the close allies, like as the trust, those that we trust, those that aren't of our faith, because some people have a secret agenda as well. We don't know. Maybe there's only goodness here and we don't see it, and we only see maybe the two deals and they came to be because there was some sort of blackmailing and ultimatum by Israel saying we only do the ceasefire deal if you agree to this. We don't know about that, right? This is something that happened behind the scenes. I was not in the room when this was signed, the agreement, right? So I don't know what is happening. But we see something questionable here by Trump, and at the same time we see something good by him. So we see two sides of the coin in a way, right? So we have to see how it turns out. Let's not be too optimistic. Let's not be too pessimistic. Let's just wait and watch. And we need to have trust in Allah. This is very important, to trust Allah, right? But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you found this video informative, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time, inshallah.